Rock solid, baby. No, I didn't know. Oh, you want to kick it off?
Sure. All right, we're back at it again here on this fantastic Tuesday. Welcome to the Tip Rail Podcast. Coming live from Las Vegas with a special guest. We'll get to him in a minute. But first, I'm going to introduce Sleepy Dave over here to my right.
Hello.
And the one and the only Pork Chop.
Who? Pork chop. That's right. There it is.
Yep, and coming live, living local, we got our good friend G-Spot.
Oh, I am here.
Welcome to the fucking
Here and alive.
Oh man, what a fantastic fucking night. We got to go see some sights yesterday, but today, on this particular day, we welcome you to the studio. So thanks for fucking kicking it here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Are we doing like the normal, like when we invite a dancer on type thing, John, or what's up with this particular?
Well, it's a little different because
do I need to take my clothes off? Because
we normally do a topless Tuesday. So
yeah, that's why I'm a little confused about what we're planning.
Well, I guess since we're 4 grown men, we could probably just keep our shirts on. And,
for the time being,
you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take mine off.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fuck it.
We do have a thing about nipples on this show. So
we do.
How many nipples you got?
I have the standard 2 nipples.
Two nipples.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but that being said,
I'll say Pork Chop has 4.
Yes,
I
sir.
do. I know that about
Yes.
Pork Chop.
Okay.
I do know that you have.
And
4
Dave
nipples.
has 3.
Dave, you have 3. I didn't know that about
I
you.
have 3.
Yeah.
No.
Come up at the meat salon last night?
No, we didn't talk about that.
No.
I didn't talk much at all.
Now, knowing that your counterparts have 4 and 3 nipples, do you ever feel inadequate?
I
for
do
only
all the
having
time.
2 nipples,
All the time.
or
I feel ashamed.
You feel ashamed.
Yeah,
okay.
ashamed, yes.
Or because my other question was going to be like the other side of the coin. Are you judgmental about it? Like, oh, you guys are
A little
fucking
jealous.
deformed.
Not
Jealous. You
judgmental.
want the
Yeah,
extra.
jealous. Yes.
I think
I want the
where,
attention.
I think where I make up in nipples, and I lack in social situational ships or whatever. I
social
have,
butterfly.
I'm awkward and weird, like meeting people, and so I have extra nipples to make up for that. It's my superpower actually. So
Yeah, that's
it gives
where
me
you-
I get my confidence from old Lefty. So
Yeah, it's
so
Lefty 3 or
but my extra left nipple just says, "Hey, you should shit out that window."
yeah.
it's very Rocco's Modern Life. I don't know if you remember the character,
Yes.
really, really big man. Has anyone ever gazed into your nipples and seen the future?
No, not quite.
Okay, all right.
They don't tell time yet, but they probably are learning that spell, I would assume.
Okay.
Probably.
Do you guys do a lot of Nickelodeon cartoon references on the podcast?
No, not at all. No. Normally, to bring you up to speed, we generally we've talked about how our experience is in the industry, and usually when we have guests on, that's what we kind of go for, like how'd you get started in the strip club industry, kinds of things like that. But to bring the listeners up to speed, realistically, G-Spot is a well-known and good friend of ours from back in '62, basically. So, for everybody listening, they kind of understand that. We talk Rock Island a lot on here, a lot of Quad Cities type shit. So, especially, with you, because you grew up there as well, correct?
I did. I was born and raised in Rock Island, Illinois, the
Oh,
jewel
yes.
of the Midwest.
Yes.
As
Home
Dave
of the
famously,
2 rocks.
2 rocks. There's supposed to be 1 mascot, but 2 rocks. Were they fucking stoned?
Well,
I'll never.
pretty
I
much.
remember being at Rock Island High School, and like the girls' basketball team at one point made, because it was the Rock Island Rocks, and I remember a girls' basketball T-shirt that like somehow got past the parents, and it said, "You can't smoke these rocks." And I was like,
Nice.
I was like, you girls are fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good fucking shirt, man. Yeah. So, did you get? I've done a number of drugs in my life, and I can't remember a lot of things. So, like, did you go to Rocky? I can't remember. I thought you were what school did you go to?
I graduated from Rocky.
Did you? Okay, all right. Fuck, man. I just
Because you graduated 2003?
2004.
2002,
Yeah,
2 years behind
I'm
me.
just
Yeah,
a
I was
baby.
02.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I couldn't remember. We were talking before we got together and everything, and I was saying like I remember you being younger than me, but I couldn't remember how much younger. But that gives me the date.
That
so.
number actually doesn't change.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest of his life.
I'm still exactly that much younger than you.
I'm sitting here remembering like shit we did as like kids, juveniles. Like, I was still in high school and you were younger than me, and I couldn't remember how much younger, but I could have swore like we camped out for fucking like concert tickets and shit.
Absolutely,
it's like, and that's where I think I really met you and kind of learned and knew who you were. I didn't know you in school. I knew you through other avenues and business deals in my younger youth. You know? I did all sorts of shit in Rock Island, buying tickets for a company. Was
my dad was a ticket broker. He bought and resold tickets legally with a license, but at that time there was no.
He's the only one that I knew of it. Like I didn't know any other businesses that did that.
He really got into that world through meeting some people in Chicago. Well, actually, I mean, I can talk about these things now because I think most of the statutes of limitations have expired. He's fucking dead. We can
beep names.
I famously take out and things that people would consider generally. Yeah. So it doesn't matter, like you can say whatever, and if we need to go back and scrub, post production's there for a reason.
No, it's fine. No, I mean, if the authorities want to talk to my dad, they're welcome to purchase a fucking Ouija board. It's fine. But no, it was late 80s, early 90s. I think more early 90s, mid 90s. The world of ticket brokering, became very popular, and there's no internet. And so, it was these guys.
You had to camp out.
You had to go to a place to buy your tickets.
Stand there and wait for them to go on sale.
Wait in line.
And the worst part is that like it was region locked in most situations. Like you had to be buying tickets at the venue that you were going to. Like if you were at the Mark or whatever,
the Mark for
Tool
White Zombie and
fucking all these other, like it's specific to that venue. Or like you could go to a mailboxes, etc., for example, or a different fucking different there's different venues that do Ticketmaster sales, but they only bought for like certain locations and regions and shit like that. So if you knew about a concert that was going on at this time, you know what I'm saying, like in say Denver, Colorado at Red Rocks Amphitheater, you had to call a fucking hotline to get those tickets, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like you couldn't buy them in the fucking like central, like right in front of you, if I'm not mistaken. So
well, you could do it to some degree. Like some things, I mean, if it was too far, there were certain limitations, and you could try to get through on the phone, and then all those guys, they would have like power dialers and shit like that. So like. Yeah. And so the only way to get tickets was to wait in line and buy them. And so that's how these ticket brokers got their tickets. And so,
individuals such as myself.
It's hard to call you pork chop.
Don't worry, man. You can call me Adam. It's fine. You can call me fuckface. I don't give a shit, man. That's good.
But yeah, no. So like probably like mid 90s, that world was kind of coming. There was guys who were scalping tickets on the street, a lot of them out of Chicago and things like that. And that world was getting bigger, that resale world. And so a lot of guys had made a lot of money doing it. And so they then decided to take it off the street. They hired lobbyists, and they pushed legislation to make ticket brokering a legal a legal business, taxable, and they did it, and so very early on in that process, my dad met a person who was in that world, who would one day grow to be a great guy. And the way you did it is, you had to cultivate the outlet. You had to develop a relationship with the person who was running the Ticketmaster machine. And I think it was the Bulls were on sale, and and it's a huge. The store is a madhouse, and my dad was working, and there were all these people in there trying to get Bulls tickets. This would have been Michael Jordan era, and this guy comes up with a briefcase. To talk to him and try to develop a relationship, so he could get him to work with him a little bit, and he like started talking to my mom, and then she was flustered. She had no idea what was going on, and then eventually goes to my dad and introduces himself and has this little briefcase with like, his business cards and shit like that. And my dad was like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Get to the back of the fucking line. And this street hustler from a different part of the state really liked that. And they became friends afterwards. And and so my dad got into that world, and you would have to pay people to wait in line. Pork Chop did a lot of that. Yeah, camping out for tickets.
I remember specifically at my era of doing that work, I was usually hunting for like NSYNC or Britney Spears. Like they were on tour, and then I I think a lot of festival type, like what's his name, Jimmy Buffett.
Buffett
I buy
would've been
launch
huge.
seats for him for that sometimes. But it was an interesting experience. I won't go into the details of how that all intricately worked, but there's some fun ideas to explore there, maybe at a later point. But
Yeah,
I never got to do the camp out. We just went to that place there by Jewel Osco.
Yeah, but I mean, like, were you part of the lottery?
Yeah.
That's all right. Fuck it. Let's get into the lottery.
Wait, what's the lottery?
The lottery was perfect.
Yeah.
No issues with the lottery.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where the again. I probably scrubbed this particular. I don't know where the lines cross of like legality for that. So I don't know if that was something that we were like going to be able to talk about or not. But
we don't need to go into specifics about where everything is located.
Yeah. So. Okay, generally speaking,
I don't think that Jewel Osco is there anymore. So.
No, it is.
No, it is. But like, all right. So generally speaking, I'll describe it, and you tell me what we could fucking keep of that or not. So, we would receive a numbered ticket and cash. All right, and we would go to a place that sold tickets for Ticketmaster, and then there would be a lottery that would draw a number, and somehow, magically speaking, I would be selected, or I would.
Well,
be
you're a very lucky guy.
A very lucky person,
very
or
lucky.
I would be within like the first few people, maybe. Like maybe
Well, there are a lot of very
lucky
lucky
but
people.
Like, again, like very lucky people, but I might be a few back. It just depends on the situation at the moment. But we would walk up and ask for whatever tickets, and then we would hand money over, and then we would receive tickets in an envelope, and we would take them back to a place, and that's what we did.
And that was Saturday mornings at my house with people at places all over, because again, it was the only way you could get them. I mean, at like 14, 15, how I like earned my, I would say side cash, my income, was doing that, and eventually,
me too.
I started working in the office. Yeah,
like late high school for me. Like so, and my mom was doing it. That's how I got introduced to it.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but like through my mom, I met you and your family.
My dad knew your mom. It might have been through like AA friends or something.
Fucking find out, bro. Like I have no idea.
Let's call your mom and ask her.
Yeah.
Hey, how the fuck do we know G-Spot?
Again, if we get that Ouija board, we can ring my dad.
Exactly.
It was wild. Like for me, that was like, so I would go to, I would get up at like 5 a.m. and we would load up the van.
I was a teenager, early as fuck, dude. That shit sucked balls. Like I didn't like that.
Yeah. That's the only way to do it.
That was the worst part about it. But yeah, you had to.
So
you had to be prepared.
Yeah, I would get dropped off at like a grocery store in rural Iowa because we would drive out, and they were also.
I got dropped off Iowa City every once in a while.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah,
I would be there with like a wad of cash, and I would have been like 14, 15 years old with like Jinkos and like a fucking Pantera shirt or something like that.
Fucking clown merch. And
yeah.
With
probably
a Surge hanging in your pocket.
Oh god, I was drinking so much Surge. Maybe even black fingernails. Like there was a lot going on, and so I would go in, and actually, honestly, it was some of my first like and best improv training, because I would go in as this kid, and there would be on sales, because like I would buy like Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and so there would be shows that went on sale at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and 12 a.m. And so I'd have to go in there as this kid who looked the way I did with these, and it was like always $100 bills. Mm-hmm. And like I would have come up with stories about like my uncles and my cousins, and we just loved going to see all these artists and concerts and blah, blah, blah. And you would talk, and eventually these people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? And
for hours. You're there for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. And then you'd come back the next week and do it again and do it again. And so I had to just keep. It really was like some of the best like real-time improv training, because like it was kind of high stakes, because like I didn't exactly want to get caught, but I also wanted something from them, because at the time the big thing were ticket limits. If you could only purchase 8 tickets per show per person or something like that, and so if you wanted somebody to print over that limit. And so what you would do is you would go in and you would kind of cultivate that relationship, and then eventually you'd get them to print double the limit. And they'd be like, okay, well, since you're here all the time, and they'd just do it. And then once you did that, you just left $100 bill on the counter for them and walked away. And then once you did that, like you had them.
Yeah.
And then
after that.
and then they were in on it.
And then everybody's going to jail.
Yeah, which is literally what the guy was trying to do to my dad. But no, I mean, there were some gray areas. This is a different time. I mean, we're also talking 25 years ago.
Yeah,
30
exactly.
yeah.
Like mid 90s, late 90s.
That's 30 years ago.
Fucking whatever it is,
Yeah. So no, but yeah, it was wild. And then you would also have to you would have parameters. So you would only want seats in certain rows, certain sections.
Yes,
so you'd have
exactly. I get a
have that
handwritten
memorized.
instructions.
Yeah, you'd have like a sheet with
But
what you wanted to buy, and and if you got them, I mean, you made money for going, and then if you got the good stuff, you got a little extra, and once you cultivated that relationship and you could start getting more, and then you started making more money. And listen, man, as a 14, 15-year-old kid,
it's it's learning the art of the hustle, man. It really was learning
how to speak to people, learning how to, like you said, fucking do stories, fucking all that shit.
Yeah. And with regard to that, all those guys, when they would have extra inventory, when you would have a show you bought and it didn't sell as well, and you would have extra stuff night of, then guys would go out to the street and try to sell them, for whatever you could get. And for me, when I was like 14, 15, my dad took me into Iowa to do that because there were no scalping laws in Iowa at all. Like you could scalp a ticket for whatever you wanted in front of a venue on the street, like totally fine. People resold tickets in the newspaper. It was completely unregulated. And so my dad then took me out and taught me how to do that. And then that's kind of where I started learning about how to like pick up, buy low, sell high, and do stuff like that, which then when I was working as a broke fucking comic in Chicago, I had that. And I mean, I also worked in that industry there as well, but I was able to, when I needed extra cash, like I could go to Wrigley Field, or I could go to the United Center and just take whatever cash I had and hustle and walk out with a couple $100 and fucking have a bar tab and pay my rent. It was nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Was it, I mean, I don't know, scalping tickets I don't know that I put it on my resume, but yeah. And because I was, a comic improv background, stuff like that, I could talk to people. And so people always liked me. And whenever we had to do other things like getting people in and out of venues and things like that, I was always good at it. And, it was a very interesting part of my life, and when I talk about some of it, like sometimes people, like, there would literally be like 20, 30 people in and out of my house on a Saturday morning with like cash flying around. And, I mean, I remember we would go like, we would go to Bulls games. Like my dad and I would go and, we would pick up huge bags of cash to buy tickets with all over, the Midwest. And so like we'd go and we'd watch Michael Jordan play, and my dad would have like a paper sack full of money and a fucking unregistered handgun. I mean, he was a gun enthusiast. It wasn't like,
I remember
it wasn't
basement,
gangster at all. He was real into hunting, but like, he was always big on the throwaway. You got to make sure you have a gun that doesn't have any paperwork in case you need to use it. It was a different time,
I get it, man. Totally. The unregistered firearm is essential in when you need to protect your money and stuff, or things, items, drugs.
Yeah, I remember your house, the barbecue. Once a year, your dad would get that hog roast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Throw big ass party for the day.
Do a huge, do the whole hog. That was super fun.
Just outside of Las Vegas, it is fully legal to hire adult companionship or a spicy friend for the evening. So let's tour a ranch and see what that would look like. This is Sherry's Ranch. It's arguably the most popular of this type of establishment. Stepping inside, it feels like a vintage home. Without obligation, you can visit the bar, have a drink, and meet potential new friends. And before you ask, it's very clean. They have a professional crew. And one of their courtesans makes content. This is Electra Rain, and she did the black light test, so I didn't have to, and it was cleaner than most Vegas hotel rooms. I spent the day with Chasen, and this is her room. Each woman sets up their room the way that they like, and this is one of the places that you can spend time with her or her friends. They also have rooms if you're into a particular taste, vibe, or aesthetic, and rooms with unique features like two-way mirrors, cameras, big glass showers.
Wait, I didn't meet you the same time Adam did. I didn't meet you until you were at Rocky.
So, I mean, why don't you figure out how and when you guys met and how that all came about?
I remember it was your cousin.
My cousin.
Yeah, I was hanging out at his grandma's house. I don't know if that's your grandma then too.
Not my grandma.
Okay.
We was like technically like half cousins. My family's very blended. We don't like deal in the halves and things like that.
Yeah.
So like my brother, who is technically my half brother, I don't like that. People are like, oh, that's your half brother. I'm like, well, he never like half kicked my ass. Like it always felt very full blooded when I was getting the ass whippings. Yeah. But no, so it's his cousin that he grew up with that was kind of like a sibling. Their grandma that's not my grandma. Anyway,
we were hanging out at her house because she'd be at work.
Yeah.
By the time we got out of school, we'd go down there, smoke, fucking do whatever, just hang out at all the weird old lady's house.
Yeah, and we drank a lot of Bacardi Gold and Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Rum and Dews. Fucking in hindsight, maybe the worst combination anyone's ever thought of. I don't know. Maybe I should revisit it.
Southern Comfort and Mountain Dew was awful. That was a terrible
Southern
choice.
Comfort is awful.
No, Southern. I mean, depending on the right mood. But like the that was what we had, and it was just like Southern Comfort and Mountain Dew, and we mixed it together.
All about that fucking Bacardi.
Rum and Dew, yeah. But the SoCo, I remember young. Like probably around that same age, like 14. I mean, I remember
the girls drank it. The girls love Southern Comfort.
But you could get the black label that was 100 proof.
Yeah.
And so like I remember many Friday nights with like a couple of my buddies, just like with a half gallon of SoCo black label that we had acquired from somebody's brother or whoever was willing to buy it for us.
Yeah.
Or we just go down to the store below the hill from Rocky, who would more often than not just sell it to us.
Yeah,
and if they didn't sell, we just pull a hey buddy and just wait for a guy who looked like he had a drug problem. We'd be like, hey dude, $10 to buy us booze. And they'd be like, no problem. But they were pretty openly selling cigarettes and booze to minors.
Yeah, I definitely
they
bought
sold Lucy's there too.
Yeah.
You could buy a single cigarette. Yeah,
I definitely bought many packs of cigarettes from them before I turned 18. I also did a little fucking clever thing. I got my license taken away in a fucking ticket, but the ticket didn't have my birthday written in on it, right? So like I wrote my own birthday in, and then I went to Moline to fucking buy cigarettes at a different fucking gas station that I don't normally see, and they was like, "This is all I got," like and the dude started letting me buy cartons at like fucking 16 or whatever the fuck it was. It was a good time. Things were different then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't have scanny beepy dude ads on the back of your fucking ID to fucking
I was able to change a ticket one time and it was glorious. I was on my way to Summer Camp Music Festival in Chillicothe, Illinois. It's a big like hippie gathering.
My Brown goes there every year.
Yeah. So I was there. I was on my way there, and I got my oil changed. And I was actually, I know you guys know the intersection. It was in Rock Island, 38th Street and 18th Avenue. I was turning left. I was coming out of Bell's Auto. I got my oil changed, and I was turning left by Mulkey's. And I failed to yield. Chick hit me. It was my fault. It was raining, also I was 20. And I was like, oh, fuck. And in Illinois at the time, I don't know if this is still the thing, but if you got a ticket, they would take your physical ID.
Yep.
And then, that the ticket was your ID. And so I was on my way to the music festival. And so like that happened. I get the ticket. I picked up my buddy and I looked at it and it was super faint because it was like carbon paper.
They gave you like totally three. There's like 3 copies, like you get the third one. And by that point, there's no ink on it. You're just like, what does this fucking say? The cop's handwriting is all fucking illegible,
And so it was supposed to be, so I was able to change the last number and make it look like I was 21. And so then I just went there like with a sob story. Like I got into a car accident on my way here. Like you can see my car is screwed up. It's been a horrible day. Can I just get my alcohol wristband for the weekend? And they're like, yeah. And then it was like fucking score.
So those wins are always fun, man, for sure.
I guess I would have been sophomore year maybe in high school because you're 2 years behind me, so it would have been my junior year probably when I met you, hanging out with Jeremy. And then fucking hanging out in your fucking hot tubs. Drinking, smoking.
We did have that hot tub. Yeah, there was a lot of fun in that hot tub.
Yeah. And your pool table down in the basement.
We did have the
dad's
pool table.
Fucking gun room.
Yeah.
We shot our guns at the pool balls.
We did not do that. Gun safety was paramount in our house.
Yes.
I mean, it really was. I mean, my dad.
Gun safety is important. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. Totally. And I want to teach my children, and fucking I hope everybody that has a household of guns teaches their children how to properly handle a firearm.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and like this is actually like a thing that I do strongly believe. Like I do like guns. I grew up with guns. My dad built and sold custom rifles, and there was like a level of artistry to it. And so like our garage was a gun workshop. He made his own ammo. He was an avid hunter. Like we didn't. there were 5 boys in our house, and we didn't eat beef. Like, we only ate venison, like stuff that Dad shot. And that was how we grew up. And, you know, I got my first gun when I turned 10. Now, I say that it was under lock and key. I absolutely had no access to it. And, you know, but when we were baptized, we got a prayer book. And then there's this book that's like a gun propaganda book called, I believe it's called the Second Amendment Primer. And it's like one of the Holy Grail, or the NRA loves it. And like, I'm pretty sure I have a lifelong membership to the NRA. Now, fuck the NRA in its current incarnation. But there was a time when it was sportsmen and enthusiasts who were into safety and things like that. And there was a literal, like a coup within the NRA when it flipped and turned into the fucking propaganda garbage machine that it is now. But like, yeah, I mean, fucking, but we were trained in gun safety. Everything was under lock and key. And for all the hijinks and bullshit that was going on in my house, we never once had any incident, with a gun being taken out, anything like that. I mean, again, everything was locked up the way it fucking should be. There were no guns under your pillow like a fucking idiot. And because honestly, if we had fucked with a gun, like, Dad would have killed us. Like, and like, I was far more worried about what Dad would do to me without the gun if he found out that I fucked with the gun. You know, and so like, no, never. And you know, there is something to be said for responsible gun ownership and stuff like that. And like, yeah, dude, I'll fuck it, like, but like, yeah, if you wanna walk around like you're a fucking superhero with a gun on your hip, you're a fucking like, I don't care. You're an idiot. No, like, they're like, oh, the no gun sign doesn't protect you from anything. No, it protects me from you, the dipshit that thinks he's a fucking superhero. Yeah. Kill your Sorry. This is the Second Amendment podcast. Right?
We're
Don't tread on me podcast.
We're family friendly. What are you guys talking about? Talking about taking shits out of windows and fucking ash sharpies.
Mine's a shooting of a different kind. Okay.
All right. Fuck no. I don't give a fuck, man. I agree. I think everybody should have a gun. It's actually a famously understood book on Facebook that I quoted. Everybody should give everyone a gun. It's a book I'm going to author one day. You know. So.
With a wobbly time right there.
Yeah.
So before we leave the Rock Island, what is one crazy memory you have from high school?
We ain't done with Rock Island.
Oh, we're not done with Rock Island?
No, because I mean, like, then it comes full circle when me and John lived together. And then G-Spot comes to the fucking massive.
Oh, I didn't know we were going on to that. Okay.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, we're just flowing through the timeline of the total package of G-Spot.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I'm just here to help you guys achieve your vision.
I mean,
so me and me ended up getting a apartment together. This would have been like 2004 ish.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and we were both working at XPAC in Milan, which was a sister company of John Deere. Mm-hmm. I took parts out of one box and put them in another box that said John Deere. Great job. Yeah, fucking shot myself every day. But yeah, then some shit happened with. He invited some stupid people over. He got jumped.
Oh God,
our apartment got robbed.
Like, fucked him up.
Yeah, like 20 staples in the side of his head.
We went on a 5-minute rant at least 10 minutes ago about the what happened to him for sure.
Yeah.
So
there was a bong. There was a bong that I had. It was just like a clear glass bong, but I'd gotten a Hatchet Man decal and put it on it, and it was a great little bong. And I remember, like, he got his money stolen. He got his head split open.
I got shit stolen
there was
out
like
of my
blood
room.
stains. Yeah, on the carpet.
The dining room, basically the entire carpet of the dining room was covered in blood.
Yeah, I remember
the bathroom was covered in blood.
He had my bong there, and the bong had got stolen. I remember him like almost sobbing, like, "I'm so sorry, I got the bong stolen." And I'm like, "You got your head split open.
Yeah.
Like, the bong's fine."
Yeah, it was a $30 bong with a $5 sticker. It's good.
We're 20 years old. We're gonna find another bong.
Yeah, right.
There'll be many other bongs, not many other pieces of your head.
Yeah, right. You're never gonna get that section of your head back.
No.
But yeah, and then him walking up to the fucking hospital. Yeah.
But he's in Kentucky.
Yeah.
He's a proud father.
Yeah. A couple times.
2-3 times.
17 times.
Yeah. I mean, if you're listening, love you, buddy.
Yeah. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah.
Nothing but love. But then shortly after that whole situation happened,
moved out, and then
he moved out.
in,
He
and
went
then
to Kentucky with his mom, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adam moved in.
So, all right, specifically what I wanted to get to about our apartment parties and shit like that. I completely remember one time when we were all doing
Party favors.
and at the time, I had this weird stance on putting shit up my nose. And so, like, it fucked with me when I sold you
Party favors.
and you it. But you were
Not
with
sure what you mean, Adam.
Can you go into more detail? Yes, actually, I
plead the
can.
fifth.
No, you had brought a fucking, in my opinion, at that time, a rock star with you, a fucking dude who had been a lead singer for a metal band that I went and saw in the Quad Cities. Do you remember who that was?
Yes.
I do.
Okay,
I do.
all right.
I do
I was-
remember who that person was.
I was shocked and awed when you guys showed up to my fucking apartment, and I'm just rolling my balls off, just like, oh, this is fucking fantastic, because like he had put out a couple of songs that I just was like in love with, because you know, being a Quad City kid, you want to fucking find some kind of angsty, aggressive music and shit. Then he ends up being a substitute teacher in one of my fucking health classes at fucking at Rocky one point in time. I was like, that's fucking crazy. And then he comes to my party, and
How was he?
huh?
How was he your health substitute teacher when you're already out
he
of high
had
school?
been previous.
No.
Oh,
This is when
previous.
he comes to the fucking party as
gotcha.
an adult, you know, and like
I was like,
fucking,
the timeline's not timing.
oh yeah,
No, I get
it's,
you.
it's
I get you.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Sorry, man, I can't fucking stay. I can't even stay in my own body. I can't. When I start thinking about the past, it's fucking. I'm
Yeah.
elsewhere. Anyway, but yeah, that was just that was a wild, vivid memory of mine, and I really appreciate everything that I got to grow up knowing you as a fucking human being. So. I think that wraps up a Rock Island-esque recap, right? So,
If you want to,
I mean, like, what do you got other?
if you want to tell that story again with the word like delicious fun things or something like that, it's fine.
We can beep out the
Yeah,
that
I'll
part.
beep out
Just
whatever.
record party favors and then edit, just drop it over.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna, everybody else be quiet. Give me a couple of fucking hits of.
Treats.
Well, no, we did all that back then at the time.
Call it that.
I mean,
No, just,
EDC is going on right now.
Yeah, we could probably find some. Okay, yeah, no. Do you? Don't worry, man. I won't make it.
Just be kind in the edit.
Yeah. Okay,
You
great.
have a- I do have a professional appearance that I have to keep up.
Well, that's why you're
as a male
G-spot.
stripper.
We don't put your photo. We don't put anything like that.
You don't
with
put
it.
my photo on your podcast?
No, like on our Facebook when we advertise for it or anything like that. Like,
You read the clause. You signed the thing, didn't you?
I signed nothing.
yeah, actually, he hasn't got back to me
Oh
with it.
fuck! How are we a legitimate business? We have to have him sign the release form. Anyway. But no,
I
dude,
had to
don't
run it
worry,
by
don't
my
worry. Like I
legal
said,
team.
I take really incriminating shit out of this because like it's just not worth my time to fucking even think about somebody listening and suing me, you know, over this fucking shit.
And most
But-
of the people that listen to this don't know you as G-Spot, don't know you probably really at all. Like, no offense, but
No, people know me.
yes.
So I was gonna say, so like, what the fuck actually brings us out to Vegas for you? Why are we here? What do you got going on in this fucking world out here that you live in now? I know that you've jumped a lot of places from Rock Island to here, but what in particular, what do you got going on?
Well, the thing that I do that is relevant to your podcast, my background is comedy, and so I am co-creator, producer, and I also perform in a show called Bulge, the world's most electrifying comedy male strip show. And so, yes, we are essentially the comedy version of Magic Mike. It's a show that is so it's fully choreographed dance numbers. We have improv games and comedy games that are tweaked for the show. Lots of audience participation, contests, bachelorette style challenges, things like that. So it's super interactive. A lot of people come up on the stage. It's really, really fun and unique show. We did it in LA for about 8 years.
Oh shit! I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, about
Nice.
that. And my best friend, he's the brainchild behind it, or my best friend Steve.
Steve.
It's
Always Steve.
yeah.
Steve, we can keep. The other, we have to go.
No, it's fine. And yeah, he's kind of the brainchild behind it. We used to tour together full time, doing comedy on the road for about 3 or 4 years, and he's very into choreography and costumes, and so he wanted to create a show like that. And so yeah, we created it. We did it in Santa Monica for a long time, and then we were doing it in West Hollywood right before the pandemic, and then after that came back, and we were doing it in Silver Lake, which is another LA neighborhood. But yeah, and then it's always kind of been our dream to take this show and put it up in Vegas. And so we were on the Gong Show on ABC, which was pretty cool. We got to do that, and so that was fun. We got to film, do a day of shooting with Mike Myers and Ken Jeong and Rob Riggle and Kristen Shaw and all the weird, crazy cast of
nobodies.
characters.
How much of nobodies?
Bunch of nobodies, right?
Yeah.
Bunch of nobodies.
Yeah. It was super weird because Mike Myers hosts the show. He did it. It was only 2 seasons. We were on the 2nd season. I'm happy to say we killed the reincarnation of the Gong Show.
Nice.
But
Stuck on fork it and it's done.
Yeah. But no. So we did that, and it was Mike Myers hosted it as a character named Tony Maitland. And so like he's supposed to be this like 70-year-old British guy, and he's in heavy makeup, and you're not supposed to know it's Mike Myers. Everybody figured out after approximately fucking 30 seconds. But he would also do like Mike Myers isms. So like he's supposed to be in this character, but then he'd be like, "Hello," and you're like, "Wait, what?" You're kind of blowing your cover. But it was kind of fun. And like he's kind of, I mean, from what I understand, he's very standoffish, and I've heard maybe not great things about him backstage. I didn't experience any of that. It was, I mean, I'm definitely starstruck because like we got to work with him backstage a bit because he's hosting it. And so he didn't interact a ton, which the Gong Show brings in this fucking batshit insane cast of characters. So like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And he's been filming for fucking a month and a half with just like lunatics all day, every day. So I'm like, Mike Myers doesn't want to be my friend. I get it. But you know,
You didn't cry in the corner?
No.
Oh,
But we had to do these like fake spots where they were like, oh, you guys might be like in the runnings to win. So like if you're in the running, we'll do like these fake spots where they're like, oh, are you here to win? Yeah. And so like we're doing these little shots backstage, and they're like, oh yeah, Thunderbolts, you guys are in the running. Let me ask. And he's like, let me ask you, did you come here to win, or did you come here to make friends, or did you come here to win? And I was like, oh, I definitely came to make friends. And he like broke and laughed and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Well played." And I was like, "That's all I need from you, Mike Myers." Yep. Like, thank you. I'll take a well played. And that was,
I'll be on my way.
yeah. That was about as much as we interacted. No, I mean, except for like on stage during the show. But yeah, no, he was cool. It was an interesting experience. And then that kind of turned into this
I was gonna say, did that leapfrog you into more success, or?
Well, no. What it did do is it turned into an abusive relationship with America's Got Talent.
Okay.
This show definitely is a Vegas show, and so we always wanted to put it up in Vegas. I mean, audience is LA. LA's not a live entertainment town. You need to put it up in a place where you have a constant flow of
New people,
tourists,
always,
things like that, And so, and it's also very Vegas-y, I mean, and so that was always our goal. And so, yeah, we got into this back and forth with America's Got Talent for like 4 years, and it was fucking brutal. And like they would, they hit us up, and they're like, the first time they hit us up, they're like, check it out, we like you guys. We want you to come out. So we do like, they do like the big audition at the Pasadena Convention Center or some shit like that. And they're like, come out. You guys don't have to wait in line. Like, you have wristbands. You have a scheduled actual audition in front of these producers.
Okay.
And so it was like, okay. And so like the communication had kind of been spotty. And the producer that we were assigned, like, she kind of started, the guy started flaking out a little bit, and we're like, do we still have this audition? We don't know what's going on. And then finally we get a hold of another producer, and she's like, oh yeah, that guy got fired, because that happens like daily.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, oh shit. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you guys reached out, because we didn't have your contact info, and we really want you to come. And we're like, okay, cool. And so we kind of had to throw a bit together last minute, and they wanted like, participation. At the time, Terry Crews was going to be the host, so like we wrote a bit to involve Terry Crews and all this shit. And we go to the audition, and what people don't realize about America's Got Talent is there are a lot of children that audition. I'm talking thousands of children at the Pasadena Convention Center, and we show up and we're like in our vests, like shirtless with bow ties and like our box of male stripper materials, and we're just walking in front of all these kids and we're like, this is
big ass bulges.
Yeah, this is so fucking uncomfortable. Moms are
Going
like,
up
what
against-
the fuck?
Going up behind Tina, the fucking twirling baton girl or something.
Yeah. And so, luckily we didn't have to wait in line with them. But yeah, so it was super awkward. You know, we go in, we do it, and then like, you know, they're like, well, it wasn't really as polished afterwards, you know, when we're going back and forth again. They're like, you know, it wasn't really as polished as we would have liked. And we're like, well, you gave us like fucking 3 days to put together this bit, and then they're like, well, you know, and then we get a call and they're like, well, if you guys come back out, we're filming, maybe we'll put you in front of the judges. And we're like, well, we're not going to go spend an 8-hour day in fucking Pasadena for maybe, you know. And then they called us back the next weekend and they were like, well, come out and you know, we'll get you in front of the judges, but we wanted to cut like literally every bit that we wrote. They wouldn't give us the rights to any of it. They wouldn't spend money for the rights to any of the music that we were using, which like even the Gong Show, a much lower budget production, kicked in some money so we could have the rights to the music that we wanted to fucking dance to, and like wrote a bit with us and like made us look good. And like, if anybody from the Gong Show ever hears this, you were fucking incredible to work with. Thank you so much for making us look awesome and working with us. But
the Gong Show executives are definitely one of our top listeners.
I'm sure they are. But no, so then they were like, so cut all the bits. Okay, and they're like, change the choreo, change the music. And we're like, what the fuck? And then they're like, I guess you can't see me, but the dynamic of our show is it's 5 dancers. 4 of them are ripped stallions. And then you have myself. I am approximately 5'5" and somewhere between 250 and 300 pounds.
Short round.
Yeah.
Tuna can.
And so they were like, so cut everything and just like, you know, put the fat guy front and center. And we're like, okay, so you just want us to come out here and be bad strippers so you can X us. And we're like, well, that's not representative of what we do. Like, we're not disillusioned. Like, also all the guys at the show at the time were like LA actors who were doing regular TV spots and things like that. So it's like, nobody's so desperate to be on your show for a moment. Like, it's like, we want a fucking clip that we can use to get a show in Vegas. That's all we want. Yeah. And so then like that was the first year, and then it happened fucking 4 years, man. And then like finally the last go around, we were super close. We had the EPs on the show, on the calls and stuff like that. And like, you know, they had this idea. They're like, you know, you guys are like, you're like strippers, but you're like Simon Cowell, right? You're like Simon Cowell strippers, you know? And we're like, no, that's fucking horribly unfunny. And so they pitched us this dumb idea. We write it again. And it was like, I mean, it was about to go. And then at the last minute, again, producer fired. It was a different producer, but then at the last minute, like it was so close, and then at the last minute, producer fired, we're fucking gone. And it was super, like, we put a bunch of work in, because like you have to film stuff and like write it and fucking like send them shit and go back and forth, and so it's a lot of fucking hours to write and create. You know, you gotta spin straw into gold with whatever garbage these fucking corporate producers hit you with. And like it takes time and effort, and you know, and so it was pretty shitty on the last go around. And when they called us on the last go around, it was very much like, what the fuck do you want? Like, because this is now the 4th time that we've done this back and forth with you. It's also weird because like I've had more than one friend go on America's Got Talent and like get awesome clips and fucking like do very well. And so it's not like it's an impenetrable wall. You know, so it's like, oh no, this really could happen. You know, it's not like you're like, I was so close to winning the fucking Powerball. Like, no, it's a thing you can do, and you can leverage it into more work. But that shit sucked. But then we just decided to move the show to Vegas ourselves, and now here we are, stripping on the strip.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking check it out.
We're going
later.
tonight.
Yeah.
Now it is going to be different than what you're used to.
No worries, man. I'm not used to anything, so you know, fucking tell us about it, I guess. I mean, or if you want to save it for the fucking experience.
No, it's a super fun show. I mean, honestly, it's a show for everybody. I mean, it is a male strip show, but it's, you know, you
guys get full down to shaft and balls.
No. It's booty shorts only. We're artists. We always We always say naughty enough for your bachelorette, safe enough for your grandma. So like anytime we've done like a private bachelorette event, usually the bride to be brings her mother-in-law because it's fun, it's sexy. You know, if you've ever been to a male strip show, they
I've
you know,
worked a
and like the
couple.
big ones, yeah. I mean they're very aggressive.
Women are worse, 10 times worse than guys at a strip club.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm not.
But they're, you know, like I've been to several in this town, and like I've seen one where, you know, a girl gets brought on stage and the guy pulls up her skirt, she's wearing a thong, bends her over, and starts dry humping her in front of the entire crowd. This guy's wearing nothing but a banana hammock. Like they are making intimate contact.
Yeah. Sausage to taco all day.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I'm not saying that nobody wants to have that. Like there is somebody out there that loves that and wants to do that. And if you want to do that, let your freak flag
What is
fly.
that? The
And
Big
go,
Bear?
go to that show.
What
Right?
is
That's
the-
that show for you.
The Big Bear bachelor party where the dude just comes out with a fucking bear head on, and they're all just and all the girls are just walking sucking his dick and shit.
Yeah. I'd wager that those aren't real.
Really? What? Pornhub lies?
But yeah, so I don't think the majority of women want that. And so we try to create an environment that it's fun, it's safe. Like, you know, we're not going to pull you up on stage and dry hump you. We're going to pull you up on stage and turn you into a Disney princess and make you reenact a scene from one of your favorite romantic comedies. You know, I mean, you're still gonna see some fucking beefcakes doing full on choreography, and so it's fun, it's sexy, it's empowering, it's not degrading. It's also we really try to create a space where the lines of gender and sexuality don't matter. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter what you're into. You will absolutely have a fun, hilarious, sexy time at Thunder Bulge, and that's what we try to create, and
Nice.
it's a blast.
Yeah, dude, that sounds
Sweet.
like a fucking good
Excited.
time.
I've watched a few of the clips. They seem funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't know this because you probably haven't heard it, but I used a brief moment of your dialogue from the show into our show last week. But no worries, it's just a fucking line about the pencil.
That's okay. I'll send you an invoice.
Hey, I still need the receipt from Meat Salon. Can you pass that to the email? You know. So fucking good goddamn man. Yeah, it sounds like a great fucking time. I'm excited to fucking see it. Dave, you're excited, right? As always, you didn't fall asleep, right?
Did not fall asleep.
All right, perfect. He's just sitting over there meditating upon the two rocks is what he's doing right now. I've been feeding Dave drugs like all since we got here, since we got out of Planet 13, basically.
When you say drugs, you mean weed, right?
yes,
Because
absolutely.
there's a
yeah.
difference.
Yes.
Oh no, in my world,
We're not
it's,
talking about face drugs.
No, but Dave's famously got allergies. If you again, haven't heard too many of the episodes or anything, but we pile him onto fucking Dave. He does his thing with him. So, but yeah, man. Like I said, fucking great fucking times. So basically, we talked about Meat Salon in an episode, and so like
Meat
G Spot is the one that took us to Meat Salon. How many times would you say you've been to Meat Salon?
Oh man, I have now been to Meat Salon probably a double-digit number of times.
Okay.
I mean, Meat Salon, in Las Vegas, I mean, there's a Korean barbecue place every 4 feet.
So that's that experience is very common to what you would get at most any other Korean barbecue places.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's like if you're gonna flood the market with that much Korean barbecue, for me personally, you have to woo me with something if you want my business. And a fun name is gonna get me there. And so so you name your restaurant Meat Salon, and like I'm there.
Because for me, it was the first experience in that world, and so like I didn't know what I was doing. So I just but if that's the same thing that I can get most anywhere else, you're right. Meat Salon is definitely the way to attract my business to it too, because like it just was like I knew you said Korean barbecue, and I'm like, yeah, that's exciting. Let's go try this out. And then we walk up to the door, and it's just in the old shitty. Put on a strip mall, fucking outdoor like vinyl lettering or whatever, just Meat Salon. Like, what the fuck are we getting into, man? So, but
I think they should have a tagline. I think it should be Meat Salon, trimming the fat. They haven't responded to my emails. No, yeah, it's great. I'm a sucker for a clever name, especially if it's punny. Like there's a lot of like pho places. If you get into the Vietnamese soup, there's a lot of great pho puns.
We have Pho King.
Pho King.
Yeah.
Nice.
Des
Yeah.
Moines. There's also Pho 515. But I mean, like, yeah, the Pho King is a fucking
588, right?
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of them, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those, but it's a restaurants. We could go on all day. We have famously talked about food a number of times. We're some fat kids, but that was a great way to be a fat kid in out and about experience. I was very happy with that.
It is hard to function afterwards.
I mean, yes, I was quite tired. That's why I definitely needed another joint and a gummy.
To help the digestion.
Yeah, and to wake you up.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. If it's famous for anything, it's waking me up.
I like a good all you can eat experience.
You got any not to get away from the food, but any crazy stories from your Thunder Bulge so far? Like one that just sticks out. Like
crazy stories
equipment
from my Thunder Bulge.
Yes.
Tell us from the Thunder.
Yes.
I remember we were doing so we'd been performing in West LA, and we were going to do a show at a club in Burbank, Flappers Comedy Club. It's a pretty famous club in LA, but it's literally the other side of the world if you live in LA. It's
I've
Burbank
heard people
is the
talk
Deep Valley.
shit about Burbank.
Burbank is a great fucking town. Burbank is clean. It's wonderful. They have a Walmart in every chain restaurant you could fucking want. It's great. No, I mean, especially if you've been to the rest of LA. But no, Burbank, no, it's the land of milk and honey. Don't knock Burbank. But anyway, great club there called Flappers. But people in LA, like if you're West Side people, you're West Side people. If you're Valley people, you're Valley people. And so it's hard to get
So kind
people,
of like Chicago, you're from the South Side, North Side, shit
yeah,
like
man.
that.
Yeah, it's hard to get West Side people to the Valley. And so they're all like cunty about it, like, yeah, the Valley traffic, fuck off. So we were trying to get people to go, and there was this huge bridal convention in town at the LA Convention Center. And so we were like, okay, what if let's go to the bridal convention in our vests and bow ties, and we'll flyer, and we'll see if we can just get some ladies to come out to the show, maybe book us for a bachelorette party. Because at the time, we were kind of like kicking around, like, okay, maybe we buy a booth and get into the bridal convention circuit and things like that. And so we were like, well, let's just go and see if we can flyer, and if we get a group of people to go, it's worth it. We just want to try to get the word out for the show and just get people to the Valley.
Yeah.
And so we go. And it was, it's a convention, so you're supposed to have badges and stuff like that, but it was super easy to get in because we did have our shirts on, but like we had bow ties and stuff like that. And so like we walk in and they just assumed that we were DJs. And so they're like, cool, yeah, you guys, oh yeah, you need your wristbands or whatever. We're like, yeah, we're working. And so they just give us credentials. Yeah. And we're like, we didn't have to like, I just kind of bullshitted around. Like it was very lax. Like I've been to conferences where like, it's pretty airtight. Like, not this one. And so we go, we get credentials, we go in, and we're kind of like, slick flyering people and stuff like that. We end up making friends with this DJ crew. And they're like, dude, you guys should come back tomorrow. And like you guys can stand in our booth. You can promote your show. Like, we don't care if you guys just stand here and dance and be funny. And you bring people to our booth. Like, that's awesome for us. And we're like, great, best friends. Let's do this. So we come back the next day, and my best friend Steve, he had at one point made some stickers. And we had flyers specifically for the show, but he had made these stickers, and the stickers, they were dicks. They were definitely dick stickers. They said Thunderbulge, but I mean, it was an unmistakable purple dick. I mean, it was cartoony, but it was a phallus. It's a dick sticker.
One of those Disney hidden dicks.
Yeah. And I remember having an argument before this. I'm like, leave the dick stickers at home. We're not giving out dick stickers. We're just trying to get people to our show. Nobody wants a dick sticker.
They don't want a dick pic. They don't want a dick sticker.
No, yes, exactly. And like, nobody wants a dick sticker.
You'd get further with a pair of boobs, like if you had a tit sticker maybe, but that wouldn't go with the theme, I don't think. You know what I mean? So.
Well, I mean, I do have supple breasts, but no, it is more of a dick themed show. You're not wrong.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, so we're doing our thing. We're dancing, and like we'd kind of been casually flying people and walking around a little bit too, and we're hanging out. And this little old lady on a rascal fucking rolls up to us. Like, I've never seen anger on a little old lady's face. And we had interacted with her a couple times and said, like, yeah, we're with these people. Like, didn't like specifically call out anything, but just kind of like bullshitted our way through it. Because she was like, what are you guys doing? And she comes up and she's so fucking mad. And she rolls up to the booth and we're like, what? And she's just like, you lied to me. And we're like, oh shit. And she's like, you're not a part of this convention. And we're like, oh shit. And she reaches into her rascal basket and pulls out a bunch of dick stickers. And I'm like, I told you not to go. Steve! I'm like, Steve, I told you not to give out any dick stickers. And he's like, oh shit, bro, I thought it was cool. And he's like, I'm calling security. And fucking like chased us out of the bridal convention on a fucking rascal because we were handing out dick stickers. We did get some people. We generated a few audience members, so yeah, that was one of my favorite dick sticker experiences.
Nice.
There's been a few others. We did
anything crazy on stage?
Okay, here's one. We were doing. Are you familiar? Are you familiar with the art form yaoi?
No idea. I unfortunately
pork chop. I feel like you might know something about.
I know of it. I'm not into it, but I mean, like it's like technically like gay anime or manga, technically, right? Like, but male.
It's
on
a little
male,
more
gay.
nuanced than gay anime or manga.
Well, see, that's how much I don't know about it. So if you enlighten the audience and ourselves.
So so yaoi is a thing. It's a very niche world, and what it is it's boy love, and so it is it's. People take manga or anime characters, it's like fan fiction. And so they take their like favorite two boy manga characters and then like write their own fan fiction about these two boy characters falling in love. And so it's boy love. I think there's actually an episode of South Park about it.
Okay. No, see, I don't know. Yeah, this is deeper than I've gotten into. Like, I'm into tentacle porn, but yaoi is not my thing.
Sure. I mean, who isn't? I mean,
tentacle porn.
We're talking La Blue Girl tentacle porn. Like, this is back in the 90s. Like, it's a little. I'm a niche person as well. So
back when the tentacle porn was like super hairy. Now it's like neatly trimmed. But no. So we were approached by YaoiCon. So it's a big convention for yaoi, and like at first we're like, what the fuck is this? We don't know. We're like, is this kiddie porn? Is this like, so we had to have like a big meeting, and we're like, what is it? Like, is this like tentacle porn? Like, is it like, and they're like, no, that's HentaiCon. That's a totally different convention that we do. And we're like, cool.
That was last Tuesday.
They also got their hands in that one, but yes.
Yeah. And so, and we're like, well, so like, is this like weird, like kiddie porn stuff? And we're like, listen, they're like, we can't say that like nobody, because it is kind of this fan created thing. They're like, we can't say that nobody has ever created something like that. However, we work very, very hard to make sure there's no weird, creepy shit like that, like in this convention, in this space. And we're like, okay,
yeah, I mean, sure, I guess.
And like we're starting to feel a little bit better about it, and then they told us how much they were going to pay us, and we felt great.
Sign me up.
We felt great about it. And so we go to do the show, and honestly, their setup, and they were also saying that like, because this is kind of a weird thing, like we have a hard time finding entertainment. Like I think they had like a drag performer or something, but they're like, it's kind of tough because it's kind of weird, and like we think what you guys do would be really fun for our audience, and it is like, the crowd was like, I mean, it was like girls that were probably like 19, 20, but like, I mean, no, because I think you had to be over 18 to be at the convention.
More than likely,
but it's like very niche, very kind of nerdy girl kind of thing. You know, there's a lot of cosplay going on and stuff like that. But it's just, you know, this segment of people that like don't fit into any traditional boxes and like
the juggalos or
kinda.
the fucking anime juggalos.
Yeah, they're like the anime juggalos.
Not even close, pork chop. Shut the fuck up.
But no, but yeah, so we go to do the show and we have this. The setup was fucking insane. They have this like giant jumbotron that they're doing a live feed of the show on. There's like probably several hundred people in the crowd. Like it was a good audience. It was a convention center. Actually, I think it might have been in Pasadena too. But it was somewhere out in the burbs, and it was really great. And so our host couldn't make the show. It was a daytime show, and he had something going on. And so I was going to host the show. So I was going to dance and just do the hosting of the games and stuff like that, which is totally my wheelhouse to do. But we had just never done the show like that before, and it was a last minute thing. And so there were certain transitions that like we hadn't worked out. Yeah. Also, Steve had given me a pair of unproven Thunderwear.
Okay.
Hadn't worn them on stage yet. He just bought some new Thunderwear for us to wear. So we finished this dance, and so I'm in nothing but like these tiny little booty shorts in front of like 500 people, giant screen, and then all the guys go to leave stage, and I'm like, oh shit, I have to host a game here. Okay, because we just hadn't worked out that transition. Yeah. And so I go into the host of the game, I'm doing stuff, bringing audience volunteers up, talking to them, blah, blah, blah. And I look over and our buddy is in the show. He's like in the wing and he's like trying to get my attention. And I'm like, what's going on? You know? And he finally makes hard eye contact with me. And I just see him mouth the words, "Your ball." and I look down, and one of my smaller gentlemen is 100% hanging out of these underwear, and I'm on stage, like there's nothing you can do, so I just kind of pop him back in there and keep hosting the
show
game.
rolling, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, oh my god, we're talking after the show, and I'm like, oh well, it happened quick. Probably nobody saw it. And my wife was like, your ball was on a 50-foot screen in front of 500 people
for like 12 minutes.
Yeah. Everybody saw. But like, so that was fucking ridiculous. But it was also such a cool experience because that crowd was like so warm and like so grateful. Like, and they were into it. They're like, this is kind of they're there for boy love. So it's like, we were also kind of operating at that same like PG-13-esque level that they were, and so like they appreciated it, and like I mean they were so grateful to have performers there. Everybody wanted to hang out and take photos and like follow us. YowieCon fans, if you're listening, we love you. But I even remember like during the show, like there was this guy, I'm sorry, this person, I don't know how he identifies, and that might be shitty of me, but it was dude's got a ponytail, a beard, very hairy chest, and he's wearing a dress. Chest hair is out, and he had saw that we were going to perform and made a custom Bulge pillow to like hold in the audience. Like he made his own merch, and it was they made their own, I don't know. But they made their own merch, and it was incredible. And then so this dude is going nuts in the crowd, and so I'm like, well, fuck, man, come up here for a game, and bring him up and start trying to interact with him, and it becomes obvious to me that he also lives somewhere on the autism spectrum and like is maybe a little bit nonverbal and has some problems. But the fact that he got to get pulled on stage, and like this is a person who's like into yaoi, on the spectrum, identifies outside of the gender binary, and like a person who kind of lives on the outskirts of a lot of things and has had to like take a lot of shit in his life. And when it was done, like we got through the game, whatever, and like he got a little more verbal after the show, and he was crying. He was so excited. They were crying. They're so excited that they got to participate in something. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like this is why we do this. So every single fucking person can have fun and feel included and have a fucking space where they can just fucking have a wild party and I bet that guy doesn't get pulled up on stage for a lot of things. And like to see like our stupid little strip show fucking make someone who probably has a much harder life than I can ever imagine because of who they are, simply because they exist. Like to be able to give that person something, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's why I shake my dick for money.
That's why I let my balls hang out.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. I mean, like, to fill you in on part of my life, my oldest kid is actually non-binary and has a personality disorder, which is tough to deal with. So I understand that type of, situation with the person that you were interacting with. So it's very sweet of you to be able to, you take and make your show inclusive like that, because I think that touch of gentleness and love for the world is something that we would go.
The world doesn't put out.
And so we do our thing about the strip club and the seedy nature of everything and the underbelly of it, but there's also that good part of it, that your show and your entertainment can fucking alleviate somebody's fucking loneliness in the world. Similar to how
and maybe that person, when they got on stage, they became more social, became more outgoing.
I mean, like that experience definitely was a positive one, I would assume, and like live on with them. So
yeah.
But we're getting
and not to like, I mean, but like it wasn't a thing like we like just discovered it like as we're going. I'm like, oh shit, okay,
yeah, it's happening in the moment.
That exact moment, it's live. You got to go with it. You're just like, all right, fuck it, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, like there's more layers here. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Yeah. But like, yeah, there are a lot more layers to this person, and yeah, like that is. I mean, it might sound fucking cheesy or whatever, but like, no, we do. We try to create a space where every single person, no matter who you are, fucking can have a fun, sexy time. And I do mean that, like, no matter who you are, like, fuck, my MAGA brother loves Thunder Bulge.
Is that the Caucasian persuasion?
No, actually, sadly, my other MAGA brother.
Oh, okay.
We got 2 or maybe more. Who knows?
Hey man, you live in the Midwest long enough, you're gonna pick some up.
Yeah, my parents were incredibly fucking racist, but also for the fucking union, which was very confusing for me. I couldn't understand exactly what was going on in my household. But we usually generally ask our guests for a tip for our listeners, such as like a tip for somebody in the strip club industry, or just a tip in life in general. Do you have anything that you could give a tip to them? G-Spot.
Oh wow. I am arguably the last person who should be asked for advice.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean, like, it's just a thing we do at the end of the show for the most part. Fucking, we got to wrap up the first episode, but many more to come.
Look, yeah, I do. I've got. You know what? I'll give you 2 tips.
Ooh, hell yeah! Getting double shafted today.
Absolutely. Yeah. No
DP action.
Love everybody. Try to put as much love and light in this world as you can, in whatever weird little niche way you can. If it's shaking your dick for money, if it's simply being nice to a fucking barista who's having a shitty day because someone just acted like a cunt, just be fucking kind to each other and bet on yourself. I always say, I've been fortunate enough in my life. I'm not rich, I'm not famous, but the choices that I have made in comedy, one thing has always kind of led to the other. I've never followed a traditional path, and I've always made my own way, and I've always gotten to do really cool, really fucking amazing things. And if you love yourself, believe in yourself, and fucking bet on yourself, whatever you do will lead to more good things. So love each other, bet on yourself. That's what I got.
Everybody love everybody.
Beautiful.
Good goddamn, hell yeah! Fucking John, you got a tip for anybody this week? Are you saving it for next week?
I'm gonna keep it simple. Wrap your tool.
The wrap it up. The old fucking.
Safer sex is important.
It is.
Yeah. Dave, what you thinking?
Not much.
Fluffer nutter.
Fluffer nutter.
Yeah.
I don't have a tip at this moment.
My tip is, if you're gonna sleep on a bed that's unfamiliar, make sure that you create some familiarity with the sheets. And that's my tip for the week.
Did you jerk off in the fucking room, bro?
Yes. No, not that kind of familiarity.
I'm jerking off in the room right now.
We're not going to talk about that yet. So, but G-Spot, thanks for fucking making the trek across town as we made the trek across the country to join you here in Las Vegas. It's good to catch up and fucking get some more information about what you're doing in this world. So thanks for coming and joining us. Hopefully, listeners, you're enjoying what's going on. Tell your fucking dead parents and Ouija board them, and anybody that's alive and available, tell them about our podcast, our show. Do you have anything you want to plug, G-Spot?
Well,
besides Thunderbulge, but go ahead. Yeah.
You can catch Thunderbulge Saturday nights at the V Theater at Planet Hollywood. Please follow us at Rock Hard Comedy. We are also at a point where we are competing with casinos that have hundreds of thousands of dollars to throw at marketing. We're the new guys in town. We're trying to stay alive. So if you want to support live theater, if you want to support the arts, if you go to our website, thunderbulge.com, we currently have a GoFundMe going so we can keep this thing alive and keep spreading that love. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So go fucking donate out there, goddammit.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to wrap it up, though.
We do accept donations in $1 bills. I want to be clear.
Absolutely. When you come to the show, bring a fucking stack of singles, motherfucker. This is a strip show. You fucking tip, goddammit. But yeah, is there a tip rail at your show, real quick? Like, yes, no? Or is it like
we
a
do
stage
not.
rail?
I'm
like a
sorry, we don't
stage.
have a tip rail.
Fuck you. How am I going to fucking live
That's
through
it.
this?
That's all.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
you're
go.
gonna have to crumple it up and throw it, or walk to the stage and make it rain.
All right, that works. All right, so, but again, yeah, you know, listeners out there, you know, we'll fucking get at you, right? So whenever you're ready, if you would.
See you next Tuesday.
Hell yeah.
Oh wait, I get it.
Yeah, there you go.